Sixers Nation, what is going on? Welcome on back to another edition of Sixers Talk. We ain't live here today. There's a lot going on here in our sports world. As it's Thursday, August 11th, the Phillies are playing a little midday game. We got Eagles Talk live back here today, and so we're all Philly sported up. But of course, the Sixers are worth talking about today because of obvious the news that has been dropping. It's really been taking over not only Sixers talk, Philly sports talk, but NBA talk. And that is Kevin Durant. His name has surfaced yet again. The whole mess up in Brooklyn, it just sends waves throughout the NBA talk, NBA rumorville, and it has something to do with Kevin Durant. KD has came out and pretty much stated that he gave Brooklyn the ultimatum. It's either the Nash Marks duo or himself. It seems like he's not playing games. He's tired of it. And this is Kevin Durant at his finest. And it really brings an interesting question of what we need to discuss today. Because it was been reported that the Sixers are a destination that Kevin Durant would like to move to in a potential trade here from the Brooklyn Nets. So obviously we need to discuss all about this, discuss everything that's been going on here with the Sixers. But welcome on to Sixers Talk. Appreciate everyone checking on in. Take a quick second if you haven't already to hit that like button. If you're not part of this family, make sure you guys are subscribed. We continue talking Philly sports all the time here, so make sure you never miss out and subscribe to the channel. It's funny because this whole situation, this whole Brooklyn Nets fiasco, all these talks kind of started with Ben Simmons and the Rick Bucher report that apparently heading into Game 4 in this past year's playoffs, in which the Brooklyn Nets were in an elimination situation. The Brooklyn Nets group chat had a question. I think it was Kevin Durant that actually raised this question. And a simple question, a really simple question. Ben, are you going to play in Game 4 in an elimination game? What does Ben Simmons do? The most Ben Simmons thing you could possibly think of. He actually left the damn group chat. This man will never change. And so it begs to raise the question, like, how much longer are the Brooklyn Nets going to put up with Ben Simmons? Because this dude obviously has a mental block. I don't know if it's confidence-wise. I don't know if it's just him being him. I don't know if it's now mic on, and I don't know if I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. But it just kind of feels like the Ben Simmons that we all kind of saw and knew is gone. Like, I don't think that guy is back here anymore. And it's just kind of sad because this is a player with so much potential, and it's kind of turned into a circus. It really has turned into a clown show. So it really is crazy. So with that report being out there, and already Kyrie and KD wanting out of Brooklyn as it was, I think it just kind of raised KD's fumes a little bit more, and he decided to put it out there. Brooklyn, it's either Steve Nash and Marks or myself. And it's hard to side with Kevin Durant because this is a situation where he's been here before. I mean, he got tired of trying to go all out with Oklahoma City, and he decided to leave OKC to go play with the rival in Golden State, and you all saw what happened, and it's great and all. And then the relationship gets bitter with the front office of Golden State and just the team in general. I mean, we've seen the beefs between him and Draymond, and him, the talk since KD's left Golden State. And he goes to Brooklyn, tries to do his own thing, and it obviously did not work. And, obviously the James Harden trade kind of hurt them. They gave up a lot to get him, and then the return for James Harden, Ben Simmons, who doesn't want to play, Seth Curry, who is a role player, and Andre Drummond. Is he even back? I don't even think he's back with the Brooklyn Nets. So it's just a rough situation, and to the point where KD just really wants to get out of Philadelphia. So there's been a lot of reports, a lot of rumors. Obviously, Kevin Durant mentioned the ultimatum to the Brooklyn Nets. He also did mention as well that his preferred destinations would be Boston or Philadelphia. So he wants to stay on the East Coast, and that makes sense because a lot of his businesses are in the East Coast, the New York area, and of course, the Philadelphia. I'm sure he's got businesses in his hometown of Washington, D.C. as well. So it is beneficial for him to want to stay in the Brooklyn in the East Coast, whether it be Boston or Philadelphia. He obviously wants to win, and obviously when you look at the East Coast, the Celtics and the Sixers are two title contenders heading into next year. So that's really what KD has given to the Brooklyn Nets. Here's the problem. Both of these teams are entitled have title aspirations. Brooklyn still believe that they can put themselves in a title ascension, at least in a playoff spot. So they want a nice return. Problem is, both these teams don't want to give up too much. I've heard a report that Joel Embiid needs to be a swap. If they want Kevin Durant, it's got to be a clear swap for Joel Embiid. And obviously, like, I don't believe that. And if that's the case, then if I'm Daryl Morey and I get that call from Sean Marks, I'm laughing my ass off and I'm hanging right the F up, because that's just a dumb request. Like, we're not trading our best player for your player who's disgruntled. And so, yeah, that to me, that was just absolutely hilarious. So the other report being, it seems as if that any trade regarding Kevin Durant, there has to be Tyrese Maxey involved in some sort of way. And it makes sense. Tyrese is a kid who's got a lot of potential. He's obviously taken a lot of leaps and bounds in his career, and the expectations heading into year 3 is pretty damn big. So I don't blame Brooklyn for wanting a Tyrese Maxey return in the trade. Here's the thing, and this is where, again, we bring up a discussion that we've constantly keep talking about, and that is Sixers fans dubbing Tyrese Maxey as an untouchable. And I don't need to go back into the definition of untouchable, and you guys know my thought of it. I still don't get why you guys feel this way. Tyrese Maxey is not an untouchable. And to me, like, I've even gotten people say that Tyrese Maxey is the franchise. How can you sit here and tell me that through 2 years, Tyrese Maxey is the franchise? Like, what have you seen? By the way, Glimpses is not a franchise player. A franchise player, like Donovan Mitchell's a perfect example. He carried that team through his first couple, to this point, his whole entire career. He's carried the Utah Jazz. So at that instance, in those first 2 years of Donovan Mitchell's career, he demonstrated that he is a franchise player. I'm sorry, Tyrese Maxey hasn't carried this basketball team. Tyrese Maxey, however, we're going to keep it. Oh, that's an interesting one, a little European soccer update. But back to the basketball. So what Tyrese Maxey has shown us is glimpses. Tyrese Maxey has stepped up when this team needed him to step up the most. But the fact of the matter is, Tyrese Maxey is not the franchise player yet. He can definitely be there, and he's not an untouchable. And here's my thing. Obviously, with a player of the magnitude of Kevin Durant, I would say you do anything possible to get Kevin Durant because he wants to play in Philadelphia. But this is where I'm conflicted. I'm straight up conflicted because I look at Kevin Durant and his career and just kind of his demeanor. I hate it. I hate the fact that he gave up on Oklahoma City. He went to Golden State. He won a couple chips. It ended sourly. He goes to Brooklyn. He tries to create another super team in Brooklyn. It doesn't work out. Now he wants out of Brooklyn. I don't like the fact that when things go wrong, Kevin Durant wants to pull out. To me, I don't like that. I don't think that a player of the magnitude of Kevin Durant should be doing any of that. I just really don't. So to me, like, I'm kind of like, all right, so what if shit goes in the hits the fan here in Philadelphia? What if it doesn't click? Are you going to want to get out again there? And you already talked about the trade package you're possibly going to have to give up for a Kevin Durant. We'll dive a little bit deeper in a second, but we talked about how Tyrese Maxey might have to be included into that. So are you willing to part ways with Tyrese Maxey for Kevin Durant? There are people who say that if Kevin Durant is on the table, you do anything possible to trade him. But at this point of his career, I don't think I would. I really don't. I would entertain, of course I would entertain a Kevin Durant trade. But in this instance where I'm talking about a key piece to what we're trying to do next year in Tyrese Maxey, I don't know if I want to give up on that. I really don't. And this isn't part of Tyrese Maxey is an untouchable. This is part of that Kevin Durant he's got issues. Straight up, my man's got issues. That's why I'm a little reluctant to making a trade that includes Tyrese Maxey involved with it. Here's the deal. I just don't see any way possible that Tyrese Maxey can't be included if you're talking about a Kevin Durant trade. I hear the rumblings from Sixers fans like, you throw anyone in that trade that's not James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're talking about an elite basketball player. You can't just trade Furkan Korkmaz, Shake Milton, Georges Niang, Paul Reed, a couple future draft picks for Kevin Durant. No one's going to want that, ladies and gentlemen. We have to be realistic. You want a star, you give up a star, or at least a player who's got potential of being a star. It's just how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Would Kevin Durant work here? I absolutely think he would work here. I think that the Harden and Durant relationship is real. I think that what happened with the trade deadline last year, I think Kevin Durant realized James Harden's gripes, and I think he kind of understood, and I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall. But Kevin Durant was just going to finish out the year. But I don't think that KD blamed Harden for wanting to leave. I really don't, and I think he commended them for that. And I think that, obviously you see the clips of Harden and KD behind the stage with Travis Scott at the concert, going wild, hanging out, and this and that. You all saw the 4th of July over at the what was it, the Rubin Mansion up in the Hamptons. So listen, there is definitely a relationship, and I definitely think that those two would want to play with one another. And I think that a KD, James Harden, Joel Embiid partnership would be deadly. If you do trade him, though, I do worry about the depth, and that's kind of why I don't want to trade for Kevin Durant, because I think the one part this team has been missing is the depth. I think this team is a title contender, and I think that by building a deeper team, they have asserted themselves into a better position of trying to go out and win a championship. And so I just don't think that trading away a ton of pieces for Kevin Durant is conducive. I think that this team, the way it's constructed right now, can go farther than what any Sixers team has done in the last 2 decades. All right, so I just, to me, when I'm sitting right now, it's 1:00 on Thursday, August 11th. I'm out on a Kevin Durant trade. And I know that some people are going to disagree with that. Some people are going to agree with that. But when I look at the logistics of it, I think the Sixers are in a good spot. I don't think they need another superstar on this team. You got Harden, you got Joel Embiid. There's some people who say James Harden will be an MVP candidate this year on a team with another MVP candidate. That'd be absolutely wild. I do think a lot of people are drinking that Kool-Aid. That the workout videos have gotten a lot of people, a little aroused, I think is the right term to use in this situation. He looks good. He looks in shape. He's doing a lot of things that we did not see on the court this past year. If I see another center like Isaiah Stewart locking down James Harden this upcoming year, we got problems. All right? We straight up got problems. But I think that James Harden's workouts and his offseason regimen has gotten a lot of Sixers fans excited, and I think that the way this team is currently constructed, it's going to be much better. I think that defensively they're going to be much better. Oh, and congratulations to Tobias Harris leading the Sixers defense. My man got married. He's got Tyrese Maxey. He's got Georges Niang and Matisse Thybulle at the wedding. Where was KD? I'm sorry, KD. Yeah, where was KD? Why aren't you at the wedding of the guy that's probably you're going to get traded for? I'm totally kidding, but. Where was Harden? Where was Joel? Where were you guys? That's one of you guys. That's one of your dogs. Where you at? Nah, but congratulations to Tobias Harris. Will he get traded? I do not know. He's already clapping back. He's having fun with it. He's having fun with all these rumors, man. He understands the business, and I think he gets it at this point. But it's definitely fun seeing him having fun with it. But it's gonna be interesting the next couple of weeks. I don't think that this KD and Kyrie stuff is gonna go away. Yeah, Kyrie's still sitting back here like, yeah, I won out too. Don't forget about me, Brooklyn. And it's gonna be interesting. But it's really been dominating the NBA buzz. One thing I will say, I think my stance will change if Boston really gets serious and are going all in on Kevin Durant. If that's the case, guys, can we really sit here and allow ourselves to watch Boston with a team that could potentially have Tatum and Durant? I mean, Brown or no Brown, like Tatum and Durant, like that's disgusting. That's a problem. And Al Horford's found a youth. He's gonna be playing like a 21-year-old this upcoming year. So it really does freak me out a little bit. And I think at that point I would be like, all right, yo, Maxey, we don't need him. Partially kidding, but obviously, listen, I don't want to see Boston. They're already a title contender. They're already the Eastern Conference favorite. How much more do we want to help them out? I'm not in on that, but. It's an interesting microcosm. I want to know from you guys. I'm obviously out on the Kevin Durant stuff, but in the comments, let me know what you guys think. What should the Sixers do in the situation? Do we trade for Durant? Are we okay with getting rid of Maxey? Are you willing to swap KD for Embiid? If you are one of those weirdos, let me know. Let me know your thoughts in general, guys. We'll be back at it for Eagles Talk Live here a little bit later today, but thank you so much for checking out this quick Sixers talk. There wasn't a lot of Sixers news to talk about besides this Kevin Durant stuff that's, again, taking over the NBA news outlets, but we'll definitely be talking about a little more. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and as always, let's go Sixers. Talk to you guys soon.